to the new show. I have an exciting show for you today. I have three fabulous people with me. First, we have a young lady who's going to actually be hosting and producing her own show, and that's Monique Miller. And of course, then we have a fabulous coach, Anita. And Anita's been here before, and she's also an author. And then we have a bishop with us, Devon, as well. So I'm kind of excited to get the show going. So let's start with Monique. And Monique, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me here.
I know you're super excited to be here.
I am over the moon. I'm so excited.
I know. I am really excited for you as well as for us, because we will be starting our show. And I know you're doing some work behind the scenes on it. Tell us a little bit about the show.
Well, the show is called The Come Up, and it's called Urban Artists, Athletes, and Entrepreneurs. And that basically is, I'm trying to start a platform and a foundation for aspiring artists trying to come out in Toronto. I found that all the years living here, I was born and raised here, all the artists in Canada, most of them have to go to the North America to get known, to get exposure, to get a deal. And I've always had a dream of starting something really big in entertainment from a child. And now I think God has just given me the strength and the energy and power and time to let this happen now. So the show it's about aspiring artists. So I have artists, I have athletes and entrepreneurs, people in the entertainment business who are trying to come out, get exposure. So I have something I'm planning in the next week. It's my second showcase, because what I've been doing is I've been trying to kind of build my portfolio of artists.
So you're screening them, basically is what it is, and giving them a chance, like an amateur type of night?
That's right. Kind of like an audition, showcase your talent to me, so I can see if I feel fit that you could be on the show. And so you have to be talented. You have to be really talented. You have to be a positive person. You have to be outgoing and passionate. So I'm having a showcase January 30th. It's going to be at Twilight Restaurant. It's 55 Nugget Avenue. It's McCown and Nugget, and it's going to be at 7 p.m. And I'm so excited. I have 14 artists, 9 performing artists, and 4 entrepreneurs. And I'm excited. I can't wait.
Absolutely, because I was at the first one, and you had about 17 of them, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I actually saw some really new talents, some really exciting talent, very different type of talents and genres as well. Is this something that was always in your core when you're growing up? You wanted to be in front of a camera? Because I knew you're hosting it too. Is that something that you had a passion for?
I love entertainment. I've always been an entertainer myself, and so to speak, the entertainer of the family. Actually, my sister and I. My sister is actually an artist. She'll be in the showcase as well.
Yes, Priscilla.
Yes, her name is Empress Pre, and she'll be in the showcase as well. She's a singer, and she does spoken word as well. She writes her own music. And so I've always had from a child just a passion for the arts. I also write myself. I do a little bit of writing musically, and I've always loved to perform, just for my family, for my friends. I always like making people happy. I always like hosting.
I agree. She always makes everybody happy who is around her, because she loves to talk and be around people, and you're a very positive person.
Thank
but
you.
One of the things I love most about your family is your father and your sister. You all support each other so well.
Yes.
It's a marriage put together that you see one, you see the other. And that's really awesome, because you need that encouragement.
Yes. My family is really important to me. I really look up to them, especially my mom and dad. I really look to them for support. They're my foundation. They're where I get this from. So they're definitely going to be there for me. They're definitely going to be a big part of this.
For this project you're doing with us, we will produce it for you, and thank you for that. As well as it's going to be, you have a couple of shows, the amateur shows, you screen them, and then to take it to the, of course we'll be talking more about this another time as the show progresses as well. But eventually you want to have this massive talent show, TV show, And definitely you have to look for supporters, you look for have sponsors, but you have a lot of encouragement behind you and a lot of support behind you right now to take this. So what do you want to say out there to anyone who might be looking or don't know where to turn, has a talent? Tell them, what you like to get the message out
I
there.
I would like to say, practice your art, keep your craft, keep your gift, maintain it. Never give up on what your hopes and dreams are, because you never know in life who you can meet. Like, I never thought that in my 20s, when I was younger, I wanted to actually be an actress, and I never thought that I'd actually get an opportunity to do this, and now it's happening for me. So I say, don't give up, keep your craft, keep your talent, work on it, practice, and always be ready to perform for somebody. You never know who you can meet, like in the mall, or if you're, shopping. Always be ready, always kind of be ready. Have your business card, have your bio, be ready to perform for somebody, and never give up, and keep a positive heart, and believe in yourself.
How can they get in touch with you?
Well, I have right now. I'm on Facebook. You can send me a friend request on Facebook. It's Monique Miller, and I'm on Instagram. You can follow me at Momo Miller, and
And it's on WhatsApp.
and WhatsApp, of course.
She followed me on that.
If you want to contact me by phone, it's 416-909-5803. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And then I'm also connected with you as well. So
Absolutely.
if anybody's interested.
Well, Monique, I want to thank you so much for being on the show. And definitely, it's a production we're very excited about. I know it's going to take some time to get it on the road because all the other work behind the scenes we're doing. And we're super excited. And what's the name of the show again?
The Come Up.
And you want to spell that?
I kind of changed it added a little slang to it, so a little swag. So it's the Come Up, DUHCOME up, UP, the Come Up.
I couldn't see anything without you having some swag in there, girlfriend. So anyway, I want to say thank you so much, and we really, truly at MVP here look forward to that production. I can't wait for the final show.
Yay!
So until then, keep tuned and follow Monique on all the social media sites to find out more about the Come Up. I'll be right back. And we're back, and I'm super excited. And you're going to see the excitement in me because I'm a fabulous woman who is a nurse. She's an author. She's a mother. She's a wife. She's a publisher. And she's a coach, among other things. And I'm super excited because she's actually working with other people to create their own books. And we'll talk a bit about that. And I want to say, again, for the second time, welcome to the show, Anita Sechesky.
Thank you, Diane.
I'm so excited. I am so excited for you. And the last time we were here, so much has happened.
Yeah.
So much has happened. You have your own book. You have other books.
Yeah.
There's 4 maybe now. I lost count, girl.
Well, I have 3 anthologies that all became bestsellers.
And that's books that you have other people featured in the book as well.
Yes, where I actually compiled a team. I brought in a team of co-authors, mentored, guided them through my vision for the purpose of the book. And my last book, that was an anthology, it actually became #1 on Kindle when I launched it as the publisher for it. So I'm really, this is a very special book to me.
No, it's special to me because it's signed to me right now.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. No, it's signed to me. I don't know where it is, but it's signed to me. And of course, the other one that you have here.
Yes, and this is my first solo book, Absolutely You. Overcome false limitations and become your full potential. This is another baby. It felt so different because it was all me.
Again,
and that's for you.
And this one in particular, I know we've had conversations. I remember some late night conversations, and I was asking when you're coming out with your own book, because you're part of that group. But when you have your own, it's your own.
Yes. Yes, I know how you feel now. Yes, it's
'Cause
your own
remember
baby. Yes,
Because I
yes.
know we had like really late at night, trust me, on that one.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Oh, when are you bringing out your own book?"
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember that conversation.
Yes.
But again, the thing that's great, and she's amazing, humble, passionate woman. I have to say that, very inspiring. And I said this to you yesterday or the day before, I can't remember. Um, people tell me all the time that I inspire them, and I have no way. I don't know how or way, shape, or form. But I'm saying to you, what you've accomplished in a short space of time, apart from everything else that you do, you've inspired a lot of women, especially like Andrea and some of the women that you're working with, who wouldn't even thought of, you know, sharing their lives with someone else and teaching them how to become entrepreneurs and how to take their crafts or their coaching and take it to the next level. And that's what you're doing with them. So thank you so much, because I know it's not an easy job trying to get into somebody's brain and say you have to do this. So you found a way to get around that. So thank you for doing that, because we need that. We do need that. So tell us a bit about the books. They all have different themes and so forth.
Well, hashtag love it's something that
That's this one here.
yes, I feel all my books
It's
say
like a hippie book, you know.
it's hippie. Yes, yes. It's got 3 themes, and the first theme is love for yourself. And I talk about how in order to do anything in life, you actually have to love yourself. You have to, and if you don't, you have to learn how to fall in love again with yourself.
Girl,
right?
I am so happy you said that, because that's one of the key things, a very hard lesson for me, myself personally. And
I
talk
think
a lot
all of
about
us, all of us struggle with it.
And that was the turning point for myself, because that's when you start to rise and shine. Because you just live life, and I don't believe in compliments, but that is one of the key things. And I say that myself as a coach and a mentor. Say, you have to love yourself. If you don't love yourself, forget it.
No.
You've got to start at grassroots. That's grassroots
You
for
do.
us.
You do. And even for myself personally, like you mentioned compliments, I was one that struggled with compliments. I never believed it. I never believed enough in myself to believe that the compliment was genuine, or they're just saying it to be nice or something. And it actually is a process that you have to learn. And I believe a lot of women struggle with it because of our negative self-talk, until we actually discover that we are the only one that can make any change in our life.
That's right.
We have to love ourselves enough that even when we don't get the compliments, it's enough to keep us going.
And one of the things is the I am, the I am that I am is basically what that means. And we always look for someone at the back who you believe has to give you that attention, but we don't need that attention. The most important attention is for ourselves.
Yes.
And if we can get over that hump and conquer that, we can do anything.
Absolutely.
Anything.
Absolutely.
It gives us a strength.
Yeah.
So tell us more about one of the other. Talk about self-love. What else is there?
The second theme is love for others, and it's talking, the stories, the chapters in that section are chapters focused on your close inner circle relationships, because we all have them. And many times, my whole purpose for actually focusing on that is many times there's a lot of broken relationships in women's lives, and we don't always talk about it, but if you were to gather a room of 100 women together, guaranteed there would be so many broken relationships, from parents, siblings, marriages, boyfriend, girlfriend, they're still together, broken marriages, and they're still together. The point is there's hurting people, and it's with the people that we're closest to. And I felt it was a really strong topic to focus on because they're vital to who we are. Again, adding to that self-love, why it's so important. And that's the second theme. The third theme is love for the greater good. And that is loving and appreciating people outside of our inner circle. And I feel that it makes us as human beings very complete when we recognize that love is not just a romantic, passionate kind of thing. We are more than that. We comprise of so many different facets. And these facets are what make our life so valuable and full, if we recognize that there are different areas that we need to address, because we get so busy in life. that we forget and neglect relationships. And not only the relationships, but it affects us because there's a dysfunction and we don't understand. But once it's brought out, then we're like, oh, I really should pay more attention.
That's right. And one of the biggest relationships, because they all tie together, is the relationship with ourselves. Love is one, but the relationship we have with ourselves and appreciate ourselves the way we appreciate anyone else.
Exactly.
Because if we appreciate ourselves, we appreciate others.
Exactly.
And you help someone out there be the support so they feel that they wanted, they are worthy of something. And that's what you're doing with all these women and men and coaches and so forth, that you're helping them put these books together so they can tell their part of the story. They definitely can tell their part of the story. And sometimes we have to do cleanup, and sometimes we have to do damage control. But it starts within you. It starts definitely within you.
Absolutely, yes.
The highlight, absolutely. This one, why the title, Absolutely You? I know a lot of it comes from yourself and your own life experiences, and there's a lot of experiences. So, what about this one?
Absolutely You. My whole purpose for the book Absolutely You is that we don't truly become ourselves until we recognize that there's stuff in our life that we've got to clean up. And we've got to address. And it deals with every relational aspect of our life and every facet that has broken, damaged, chipped up. We've got chips on our shoulders and things like that. This is what this book is about.
So this brings you to humbleness on a compassionate level, where once you come down to that, get off the ego.
Yes.
You have to have a little bit of ego there, don't get me wrong.
Oh, yes.
But come down to this level where you are actually being yourself, and that people will see you for who you are.
Yes, and as we're doing that, the amazing thing is your vibration raises. Because you're releasing a lot of negative energy, and I'm sure a lot of people hear about that negative energy, law of attraction, but they don't actually understand how it works. And as we actually forgive people that have damaged us in the past and we carried that grudge, we actually raise our energy vibration and attract more of the positive things and success into our life, because we are not dragged down and focused on something that is totally damaging to us anymore. We're focused on the things that will bring out the best in us.
Yeah, we got to kind of control the monkey mind in
us. Yes, exactly.
The monkey mind, stop this. I mean, I have my monkey mind, trust me on that one.
It's a West Indian thing.
It's everything.
Yes, everything. Yes.
It's actually trying to pull you down to see how strong you are and how you deal with the situation. Because again, like I keep saying, there are no mistakes, there's no failures in life, there's only lessons to learn. It's what you do with the lesson, the learnings. That's the key part of it.
Exactly.
And I've learned to accept, even recently, sat back and say, people would say if I could have done something, I would have do it different. I said, right now, no. It has to be the way it has to be.
You're where you are right now because of what you've been through.
Even in this cold country too, for God's sake. How can we get in touch with you to find out more of some of these programs that you're doing and the coaching and everything else that you do? How do we get in touch with you?
Well, I could be reached on Facebook, Anita Sechesky, which is my personal page, or my business page is Anita Sechesky, Living Without Limitations. I've got several book pages, #Love, A New Generation of Hope. My newest page is Living Without Limitation Conference Series, which is the newest adventure in my life. We are hosting our first conference in Brampton on April 11th, and the details will be announced this week. Very exciting. It's going to be featuring, I know Andrea was on your show recently. Andrea will be one of my special speakers. She's doing her own book project, so I'll be featuring my compilers, my clients. I really believe in the vision that these individuals have, and I want to elevate them. I'm all about that. I'm all about empowering, and this is the drive of what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. I'm taking the conferences across Canada. There will be one in Thunder Bay, which is my neck of the woods where I grew up. I wrote about being the most ethnic person in northwestern Ontario when I was growing up. And then the third one will be in Vancouver in early June. So we're quite
Very nice.
excited, quite excited.
I see your vision. I feel your vision. And like I said, it's
thank
always
you.
a pleasure, pleasure, pleasure to speak with you, whether it be on Facebook. And, sometimes we just have to boost each other. But I'm super excited, girl. You are roaring.
I hope
and
you can be
soaring.
there. I've got a ticket for you, girl.
She got a ticket for me. Absolutely. I would not, unless, I wouldn't miss it for the world. I
Thank
really
you,
wouldn't
Toya.
miss it for the world because I really believe what you're doing. And again, it's something close to my heart and writing books as well. And just trying to get people out there to listen. And there's different ways of doing it. You're amazing. You're doing what you're supposed to do. I don't know how you balance the RN with everything else that you do. But
Shift
Anita,
work.
Shift work.
Shift work, no, from shift work to casual. That's how you balance it. You pick your shifts.
But I really, honestly, at the bottom of my heart, say thank you so much since I've known you for maybe about a year or more now. You're really a woman who I've seen grown tremendously from the first time we spoke. But keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing, and the sky's the limit. Really, the sky's the limit. So I want to say out there, Anita is, and I want Anita to come back on this show because of everything that she's doing with the project she's doing. Reach out to her, be part of her book, get your own book,
Yes.
and definitely be the person you're supposed to be, and figure out what your mission and destiny is. Because through this journey, you will find out who you're supposed to be in this world and why you're on this world and this plane, as we call it.
That's right.
So I want to thank you so much, Anita.
Thank
and
you. Thank
Please,
you.
just remember me when you're up there.
Oh.
And you know what? Again, to everyone out there, to your success. And we're back. And I'm so pleased right now to speak to a gentleman who is very close to me, and we get even closer the days goes by in terms of the projects he works on and his company and organization. When I say company, I don't mean that he has a business per se, but he is none other than a bishop. He has several ministries that he works with in Jamaica and Toronto and New York, which is quite a lot, to tell you the truth, because he's always traveling back and forth. And he also works with the Ebola projects in Africa and so forth. We will talk with him with that. But I am very pleased to actually introduce to you Bishop Devon Laird. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
I've been trying to get you in this show for some time.
Yeah.
And that's quite, we have so much to talk about. So much to talk about the ministry, so much to talk about the projects you're doing. And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. But let's first talk about yourself for a moment to let people know who you are.
Yeah.
Did you always wanted to be a pastor?
Well, I think it was, some things that's entrusted upon you, whether you like it or not. I think that's called for that.
Yes.
I was born
But
for
what
it.
let me put you, when you believe it was your calling?
I think about maybe when I was 20 years old. That's a little while now.
Really, you think?
Yeah,
It was just yesterday,
yeah, I was about 20 years old. I was born again when I was 17 years old, well, close to 18. And from then I knew I had this call, this urgency in me, not only to understand the Word of God, but to understand it not for myself only, but for others. And so the urgency, there's an urgency. When that call is on, there's an urgency and an insatiable desire to do it, to empower people.
Absolutely, because you become the messenger
Yes,
with the message.
yes.
Let's talk about the messenger delivering the message.
Yes,
You work with if you work international, basically, is what it is.
exactly.
So tell us about some of the international ministries that you sort of oversee.
Well, part of my work and part of what I do is to empower people.
You got it right there, you know.
Yes.
Empower, it's right there.
Okay, okay. Is to empower people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is to because ideas runs the world, good or bad, and the best ideas are written, and this is my personal view, is written in the Word of God. The entire world began with words, and that's where I come in to teach people that they can change their lives. The poverty can be changed. Their health can be changed. Their welfare, everything about their lives can be changed if they understand how to seek and find the treasures in the Word of God, and that's empowerment. Because now you'll move from dependency to independence when you begin to understand that there's great wealth in it. And so I don't only oversee churches, I oversee see pastors. It's a joy to bring them to this revelation, to this knowledge that the word empowers them, and then they empower the people that they minister to.
You are one of those unique ministers I have come across, and several I've come across, who are outside the box. I'm going to say non-traditional, right? And I do admire that because I think I believe when we are outside the box in anything we do, when we speak, people resonate with us
Yes.
because that's what people they want, something different and fresh. Because I know you're working, like I said, you're in Jamaica, you're running that, the one in New York, the one in Toronto here, but I know also you're working on some projects
In Africa.
in Africa. So let's talk about that, which is of urgency right now to everyone.
Yeah,
Concern.
if I step a little back, the greatest teacher, in my view, was Jesus. And he was not confined to
No.
he wasn't a box thinker. That's what created the revolution in his time. People couldn't understand. They said, never have we heard a man like that. A man spoke like that because he wasn't thinking within a box. And if I'm a true follower of Jesus, I can't be a box thinker. I think out of the box. I see the bigger picture. I see people. I see the goodness in people and the greatness of that person. I just don't see the flesh and blood.
I appreciate what you're saying there because it comes back to how I live my life and how you know I am. I'm so outside the box. You can't put me in a box. You
No,
can't script me
I
or
don't like
anything.
that.
No, and now that you're saying that, it sort of makes sense when you see people resonate with that. When the way you said it, people tend to listen because they start to pay attention, and that's what they're looking for.
Right.
So I never thought about it the analogy, but
It
pretty much
is.
that's what we do. Yes.
It is. I don't like to be confined by space because I'm not. What you see here is the shell of me. The real me is on the inside. That now is confined by the place I am. But in me, my thoughts are always thinking, what next? Where next? Who's next to help? Because the greater part of me is on the inside, not what you see outside.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's how we shine from the
Yes,
inside.
from
That's
the
why we
inside.
resonated so well ourselves. Let's talk about the project in Africa.
Well, our church, my wife and I, we started this church.
Who's also a pastor?
Yes, she's a pastor. She deals primarily with the women and children issues. We all deal with it, but most of that rests on her desk while I'm out on the road most of the time. But the church is about 5 years old. We celebrate our anniversary fifth anniversary next month,
Nice.
15th of next month.
Yes.
But in that 5 years, and as I said, I've been in ministry for 40 years. I grew up in a traditional church, where you just see people is on this like everlasting cycle. They say this thing, it's the same thing over and over
I
again,
grew up in such a
and
church.
nobody was going
Yes,
anywhere.
yes.
It didn't help anyone. You walk into the church, you see sick people every day. You see them fainting, falling over, and nothing growing. And so when God gave me this awakening as to the true meaning of the gospel, I just took it and ran with it, and then I didn't get help. I get criticized, but it propelled me to what I'm doing right now. So we take the ministry not only within our locale, but everywhere else there's a door open for us. So we went to Ghana in '07, and we established a relationship with over 30 something churches in Ghana. Then last in 2013, I took the ministry to Liberia, and it's an amazing experience. It was an amazing experience for me. I was there by myself, meeting these people the very first time. But what drove me to that is the need of these people, and they had no voice. And even now, I don't think most of the people in Liberia, in these West African nations, have a true voice. There's no one really standing up for them. As a single ministry, I monetarily and through other means to help them, education and all that stuff. In the in the last year, Ebola outbreak, our church tried our best. We're trying to get help from because we're a newbie, so to speak. We don't have the kind of connection with anyone so far, either on the government or from the private sector. So we're doing it as a church, and I give thanks to God for the people I have who who buy into the vision. So we have about 30 something churches, and during the time of the Ebola, the height of the outbreak, we we got knowledge of some of people being affected by it. One pastor lost his mother, his wife, and his daughter. And I mean, I get called 3 4 times per week.
I was there one day when I
Yes,
actually
yeah,
you had a conference call. You
right,
just called in. We were in a meeting,
yeah,
and we listened on the call.
exactly.
And it was heartbreaking to hear that he was just pleading for anything,
Yes,
anything whatsoever. I mean, the church is a nonprofit, but it's also a business as well because you need to
it
survive as
does, it
well
does.
to a certain degree. But at the same time, you're trying to take that to help
Other people,
others people as well. So if it doesn't come in, you can't help.
exactly.
And I heard that cry that day.
Yes.
I heard that on the conversations we have. I mean, because again, you're working with another project, which is with the orphans.
Yes.
The orphans of, and I'm so excited about that one.
Yes.
Tell them a little bit about that particular project.
Now-
'Cause I think it's really a cool thing.
When I left Liberia, 6 acres of land was offered to me to build an orphan home. Again, I sought funding, but I just not finding the right doors yet.
Yes.
I will.
Yes, you will.
And
We declare you will.
yeah, I will. I will find it. Now, since the Ebola outbreak, there are there are even more orphans since then. There was a 14-year war, civil war in Liberia, and I met men and women who lost everybody. One gentleman, one of my pastors, he's the only living male from his family. Everybody died. They took me to places that you see misery still. So, and then there are many children then some of them are teenagers now, and they're raising their siblings because both parents died during the war, or got sick, or what have you. And since Ebola, the latest information I got, there are many orphans in Liberia right now, and nobody wants to take them. I don't know if some a bit of fear that they might still have the disease entrapped in them, or they can't manage to take other children on top of the children they have already. So I know the big organizations are doing their best to help uh, to curb and to control the disease. but there are other areas that they will not reach to. The inner, you call it's called there are areas on the capital is Monrovia, but there are areas outside of Monrovia that it's hard to find a road to drive on. It's funny.
So
You,
you're planning an event this year to see how you can help raise funds for
yeah.
that too as well.
I'm into Africa. I'm into Africa because I'm from Jamaica. And
We all won, by the way.
yeah,
We
somewhere.
some
I'm
shape
from
or form.
Jamaica, and I've always had an interest in the African culture. Um, I make no apologies for that. It's just what how I
There's no
feel.
apologies to be made to begin with.
I go to Ghana, I go to Liberia. Invited to be in Kenya sometime this year. Um, but the whole African project is dear to me. It's dear to me. And when I read the Bible, when I read Matthew 28:19, it says, "Go into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature, every person." So it's not only, and most of the times we have one of two things, and that's what I don't like traditional churches, is either we raise up one little congregation right here and we spend 50 years with that group, and there's no
No, there's
outgrowth.
no growth.
There's no
There's no
growth.
growth.
And so, when a person always celebrating 50 years of what? One church, I believe that the church, I am the church. Every believer is the church, and that person must produce. Each person must have some kind of production because every one of us, we're not the same, but we have complementary gifts.
Absolutely. And
And
that's what the growth we're
yes,
saying. The growth is to reach out to others to
exactly,
help them grow and build that community.
exactly.
What is the project you're doing late in the summer that we're working
In
on?
July, 2nd July, we're having a Uganda youth choir called the Watoto.
And how many of them coming?
It's over 30 of them coming, and they're amazing.
And these are orphans.
Yeah, they were often
They're
the AIDS
orphans.
from AIDS
Yes, yeah.
in Uganda. The Watoto project is a beautiful one. It's that the the organizers or the leaders of the group are North Americans, and when they went to Uganda, they found kids thrown on and out, just thrown out because the parents died. They were on the street living, and they built a village. And there are women who lost their husbands because of AIDS or other means, and they themselves might have had the disease, the HIV. And so they build a village homes, and then these women now would take these children in and care for them as their own. So one home might have 5 or 6 or 8, but they have a mother at home. And then these children are taught, they have to build a school for them. They themselves don't have the AIDS, but the parents died of it. And they're now, they have means of medicine, the means for food, for schooling, and they are tremendously blessed with gift of singing. And they tour the world. They tour, well, I should say world, but turn out as quite a deal. For them to come to us, we consider it a great honor.
Yes.
And we're looking for them to come in July. We're going to have a concert with them. The venue is not yet decided, but the date is already decided. And we want to.
It's a one-day show.
It's one day. It's
One
one day.
evening
One
show.
evening.
One
Yes.
evening show.
And what we want to do though is to package their coming with new talents, new talents within the church or out of the church that would come and showcase the talent, young people,
Absolutely.
because our church believes in the youth and in investing in young people.
And you know how I feel about the
Oh,
youth, so we
boy.
wouldn't go there because I may be talking enough for the youth.
Yeah, we want to start a revolution
Oh,
with
we have to
ideas
start a
with that.
revolution. There's
Yes.
so much for you and I to do.
Yes.
Definitely all
Yes.
know us here as well. How do we get in touch with you?
My office number is 416-293-1444. That's my office number. I think the best time to get me is on, because I'm on the road most of the time.
Apparently, I know.
Most of the time.
But where's your
289.
ministry?
It's 174, 174 Shorting Road.
And the name of the
New
ministry?
Bethel, just New Bethel, New House of God. We believe that when people come, they will be changed. And we have seen that our church.
Yeah, and there's lots of welcome.
There's
I
a
mean,
ch-
there's this warm welcome that
there's
comes
a
from nowhere.
there's a
Trust me,
change.
I've been through that.
They change.
Yes.
They're changing. The mind, the
Yes.
thinking is changing.
Yes.
The attitude and the behavior is changing. You say if you change people's belief, they'll behave differently. And the word changes people. We've seen people come and broken and God heals them. We've seen people walk out of wheelchair in that place.
And you welcome anyone from any nationality,
doesn't matter.
culture, ethnic background.
It-
Everyone is welcome.
that-
I saw that. There
Yeah.
was a mix
Yes.
as well. And you all sing a lot.
Yeah.
You sing a lot, definitely. But it's by doing that, everybody feels free and you're preparing them for.
It is.
That was the deliverance service you did that morning. But definitely, there's so much we have to talk about and to
Yes.
do, and we will be doing so much with you as well. I wanted to look out there and send a message out to
Oh yeah.
anyone and everyone, please. If you want to pray for them, you want to talk back to home, whatever it is you want to do, this is your time.
Sure. We're starting a spiritual revolution, a revolution of ideas, a revolution of ideas that's rooted in the Word of God, to change people's lives, to move them from looking for a handout to self-help. We want people to, we teach people how to become wealthy. And it's in the Word, how to do self-deliverance, how to break curses over their lives. And word curse is one of the worst. And some of the word curses come from people's mouth. So we teach people the power of words and how to speak life, health, wellness. We empower people with the gospel, not only to have it for themselves and families, but to take it to the world. Where we are in Jamaica, we're in Toronto, we're in New York, we're in Africa. And anywhere the door is open, we want to take the gospel. We believe God to supply our needs. That's all we do. It's a faith ministry, but God has been faithful. He has provided for us, and we're looking to expand it this year, the next year, because my principal duty is to raise up sons and daughters of God so they can be manifested into the purpose. That's my purpose.
What else can I say to add to that? Definitely, like I said, there's so much work out there needs to be
Yes, it
done.
is.
And it's up to us as leaders, as mentors, as community members, as church members, as a human being,
Yes.
we have to do it. So I want to thank you so much for coming and spending some time with me. And I want to say out there, since I met Bishop Laird, there's so much has happened, and I've seen him doing so much work in my community, because you are in my community, by the way. And there's so much more he wants to do. But again, sometimes his hands are tired, and he is playing out there to how we can make all of these come to pass. I want and urge you all, please, to connect with him. And whatever you can do or whatever part you can play, please do that, because I do see that. And we will, us, do the best we can to help him in all the projects that he's working on. So I want to say to you, please do get in touch with him. And I want to thank you for that.
Thank you very much.
What can I say? It's been a blessed morning on so many different levels. I want to thank Monique, who is super excited about her show, and I'm so excited for her to see a young woman who's fulfilling her dreams, to have her own show and working really hard at doing that. And I applaud her for that because I see it. And then for Anita, Anita has been so inspiring in so many ways. There's so many men and women out there with the work she's doing. Encourage them with the books. As a coach, as a mother, as a nurse, I want to send her all the best and say thank you, Anita, for doing some of the things that we sometimes don't have the time to do. And blessings to you on that one, and all your books and the projects. And of course, Bishop Laird, I want to say to you out there, please do contact him. And I know we talked on many occasions about so many projects. And I want to say to you, and I will say this publicly, we will be there for you, however we can be a part of this. And I want you to be a part of this and contact each and every one of them and be an inspiration to everyone in their lives who's been here today and will be forward when shows coming. So I want to thank you all for staying here for a couple of hours so with me. And until next time on the DNA Show, be safe and protect yourself.